Hi all. So good morning to everyone.
Hi, Vera.
Yeah. So my voice and any background noise from my end.
Everything is good.
Good, right? Okay. Shall we start or need to wait for anyone?
Yeah, we can start.
Yeah. So first, please confirm me that. So have you created AWS accounts, everyone?
Yes, Vera.
No challenges,
Yes,
right?
we
In that. Okay, great. Okay, so today we will focus on the complete network configuration in AWS. So actually, in the last class, we discussed the creation of EC2. So, but just we have seen in very high level, but we have to go in depth the whatever steps we are configuring for the server. So, as a DevOps engineer, so if you want to deploy any application, before that, so we have to create the environment. The when I say environment, maybe the AWS infrastructure environment, whatever the services, maybe EC2 services and S3 services, security services, monitoring services. The creation of the resources as a DevOps engineers, we have to take care. So now we are whatever the topics are there in the creation of EC2. So we are discussing in that manual process. When I say manual process, so once we log into the AWS console, so we are configuring the some steps to create an EC2 instances. But in real time, so we have to, we have so many scenarios. I know the approaches. When I say approaches, so we have a Terraform approach. So we have a CLI approach. We have a Python boot-to-3 approach. But all these approaches, so once you are clear, the manual process only we can easily understand those approaches. So for any approach, the prerequisite is manual approach. So whatever steps we are configuring the manual, the same steps we will configure through as a code. If it is a Terraform as a code, we can configure all the steps in the form of code. So, so definitely we have to understand the manual process is first. Then we have to opt that whatever the next approaches are there in the coming classes. So first we have to focus on the manual process. So in the manual process, I'm not sharing my screen. I will share after that. So in the manual process, so the creation of the server, the importance factors, the operating system, hardware, and hard disk, and along with that, key pair, and the name of the server, and finally the network settings. So I think we don't have any challenges the other except networking. So all the steps we are I think familiar with the steps whatever there we have already given the name and hard disk and OS and hardware and key pair. But here we have to focus on the network settings. So let me share my screen. So if I go here, AWS console, once you log in here, Okay. So if you go for instance, so if I go for launch instance, so here the name, just we have to give the name, and here selection of OS. For example, if your server is going to, if you want to create a Linux server, you have to select Amazon Linux or Ubuntu or Red Hat. These are different distributions in the Linux, but 90% of the operations are same. Just a little commands may be different. I will show you those. If you work with Ubuntu, if you work with Amazon Linux, what are the differences? And the next is Windows operating system and Mac OS operating system. As we aware of that, we have a three type of operating system. One is Windows, and Linux, and Mac. So 99% projects are Linux operating system only. So we have to focus more on Linux only instead of Windows and Mac. And so whenever I select any operating system, the background one ID will be generated. Okay, whenever I select a operating system, one ID will be generated. This ID is called AMI ID. Okay, Amazon Mission Image ID. So this ID will help to select the, whenever you select the operating system, the background, this ID will be selected here. So based on that ID, only the AWS providers allocate you operating system based on the ID. Is it if it is a Amazon Linux or Ubuntu or Mac OS? So, and after that, we have a, I think, architecture type. Architecture type, I think we already know, right? 32-bit, 64-bit in our laptop, like that only. So 64-bit, 86 is a default one. Just keep as is. And instance type is nothing but hardware. So the performance of the laptop or performance of the server or performance of the mobile depends on the hardware. For example, if you can see, so we have a different types of instances, the different families, T series, M series, C series, X series. So that depends of the work, that depends of the project, we have to select the series here. So as we aware of that, T2 micro is the freighter eligible. So now we are doing the practice. In this case, we have to work with freighter only. But the process is same, the creation and operations and all. But here what we can understand here, if I take a different instance type, so T3 large, if you can see the CPUs are to 8 GB RAM. I mean, performance will get more here. But we are doing the just practice, right? We are not deploying any production environment here to get a high performance. So that just we can stick on T2 micro. So if you are interested, just you can go here, the different family, different families, the C series, M series, X series. So different series are there. So I will share this chart. If you are interested, just go through it. So database, we have to select C series, and production environment, we have to select for, M series, like that, it will be array. Anyway, it will take a decision, the client and architect level only. No need to worry about this. But we have to understand instance type is nothing but hardware of the server. So how many CPUs are required? How much RAM is required? The selection of the instance type, it will give you. Okay, so this is hardware step. After operating system, the next step is hardware step, and the next step is key pair. Okay, I think key pair we already discussed, right? So whenever you can create a key pair, so two kind of keys will be created in the background. One is public, one is private. So private key will be downloaded in the local of the laptop. Public key will be downloaded inside the server. If you want to connect the server with the same private key, the inside public key will be there. So both can handshake and authentication. After complete the authentication, it will allow to connect the request. Okay. Anyway, so if you can see here, the unknown step to create a EC2 instance is network setting. If you can see, there is a VPC, subnet, and security groups. So I think we have a three entries are there. One entry is for VPC, one entry is for subnet, one entry is for security groups. So if you want to understand this step, first we need to understand the hierarchy of the AWS. And after that, the next step is hard disk. I think we don't have any big challenges to understand this step, as we aware of that hard disk is a mandatory for any server, and the same hard disk is a mandatory for any laptop to store the data. So if you want to store the bulk data of the server related files and all, the entire information will be stored this hard disk. Okay. So in our free tier eligible, we can increase the size of the hard disk up to 30 GB. So if you can see here, we can increase up to 30 GB. So, but I'm just as a default, the default size of the hard disk is 8 GB. I'm just keep as is. Yeah, these are the steps we need to understand to create a one server. These are the very important steps to create a server. The creation of the server also DevOps engineer role. Definitely we have to understand. After creating a server only, we have to deploy the application. The deployment also our job only by configuring the CI/CD approaches. Okay, we can start to understand today class is so this step network setting, network block of the AWS. Let's go to the network block of the AWS here. Okay, AWS network. Very important concept, guys. It will be very useful concept for an entire IT career. Even if you're strong in any one cloud network, we can easily understand other cloud networks also, either Azure and GCP also. Okay, so here, yeah. So first we have to focus here. What is AWS network? So how AWS is distributed entire global? That is very important concept first. So guys, AWS, as we already discussed the why in the why AWS only in the class. So AWS globally distributed, right? As we understand, the AWS is globally distributed. AWS is globally distributed. Globally distributed. So globally distributed is nothing but, so AWS network is there everywhere. If you can go US, and if you can go Canada, if you can go India, if you can go New Zealand, so everywhere the AWS network is there. So what we can understand, AWS is not a region network. Region is nothing but, I mean, for example, if I take in India as a region, so AWS is not only for India, and AWS is not only for US. AWS is not only for Canada. In that case, what I can say, AWS is a global network. So AWS is a global network. So if you can see here, AWS global map. So if you can see here, AWS global cloud infrastructure. Yeah. So if you can see here, so these are the list of the regions. These are the list of regions. We can see the yellow color indicates the list of regions. In this case, we have a multiple regions entire globe. So region is nothing but the, so headquarter. For example, if I take India we have a 2 regions. If I take a US we have a 3 regions. Like that, it is globally distributed. So if I can take a global level, so in this case, yeah. So these are the list of regions. The yellow color indicates the list of our regions. So what is region? First of all, what we can understand here, AWS is globally distributed means, so this is globally distributed. So this is entire global. So inside global, we have a different continents. So as we know, we have a 7 continents, right? Like that AWS also, if you can see here, the list of continents, list of AWS continents. Yeah. Let me open here. List of continents in AWS cloud. Yeah, if you can see guys here, we have a total 7 continents, including Africa, Asia Pacific, North America, Europe, Israel, Middle East, and South America. So, okay, let me take this point anyway. This is very understandable, so we can easily understand this. Okay. So, yeah, currently AWS is spread over 95 locations across 7 continents, including Africa, Asia Pacific, North America, Europe, Israel, the Middle East, and South America. So in this case, if I consider this is a global, this box is for global. So definitely I can show here Asia Pacific, here Africa, here North America. So here Europe, Israel, so Middle East, and South America. So these are continents. Okay, these are continents. So if I take here the continents, Asia Pacific and North America, so South America, SA, okay, and here Europe, Middle East, ME, okay, Africa, Israel. So if I consider this is global network, this is global network. So AWS spreads the entire global distributed into 95 locations. So 95 locations over 7 continents. Just for understanding, no need to remember these things. Just for understanding purpose only how AWS network is spreads entire global. So here I'm taking here. You can take any North America or Asia Pacific or whatever. So if I take a North America, for example, or Asia Pacific, so India. So if I take a Asia Pacific continent, we have India in Asia. So let me take one more slide here. So I'm explaining here Asia Pacific box only. So this is Asia Pacific box now. Inside global, we have a 7 continents. So this is Asia Pacific's box. Okay. So this is Asia Pacific box. So Asia Pacific continent here. Okay. So in Asia, we have a total 2 regions. In Asia, we have a 2 regions. So India is a part of Asia, right? So in India comes under India, we have a 2 regions. Region 1, region 2. region 1 and region 2. Region 1 and region 2. So in region 1, so what is the region? So here, if you can see in Asia Pacific, we have a India. So India total, we have a 2 regions. In India, we have a 2 regions. So one is Mumbai, one is Hyderabad. Okay, so this is Mumbai. So here is Hyderabad. Okay, so what is region here? So region is a part of one continent. So for example, if I take it, this is a continent. Okay, this is continent. So continent is a part of global. So I'll do one thing. I'll draw just the outer layer. I just show you as a global. So this is global. Inside global, we have a different continents. The one continent is a Asia Pacific. So that is India. So this is global. So inside global, we have a continents. So we have a total 7 continents, but here I'm taking as a example one continent, that is Asia Pacific. So what is continent here? Continent is nothing but group of regions. So in my India, in Asia Pacific, we have India. So in Asia Pacific, we have India. In India, we have a 2 regions, Mumbai and Hyderabad. So region is a part of continent, continent is a part of global. Now, what inside region? So if I take a one region, what will be there inside the region? So inside region, we have a availability zones. We have a availability zones. 1A availability zone, 1B availability zone, 1C availability zone. So Hyderabad also we have a 3 availability zones. We'll discuss what is 3 availability, what is availability zone, what is region and all. Okay. So we have a total 3 agents for Mumbai region. And we have a 3 agents. Agent is nothing but availability zone. Okay. So in India, we have a 2 regions and each region having 3 agents. Agents means availability zone. Availability zone. So okay, let me increase the font here. This is the total availability zones. So this is region. So this is continent. So we have to focus more in region and availability zone only. No need to focus on any continent and global. Just for understanding purpose only, the hierarchy of the network. For understanding of hierarchy of the network only we are discussing here. So no need to worry about global and the continent here. Just we have to focus region and availability zone. So in India, we have a 2 regions. In India, we have a 2 regions. So 2 regions. So here one is Mumbai. The region number 1 is Mumbai. Okay, the code of the region. We have a different codes for each region. The code of the Mumbai is AP South 1. Here AP is nothing but Asia Pacific. Okay. So the India is the part of Asia Pacific, right? That's what AP South 1 here. And region number 2. Region number 2 is Hyderabad. So here AP South 2. This is the region code. So the code of the region is AP South 1 for Mumbai, AP South 2 for Hyderabad. Same like that, we have a different regions. So we have a different codes. For example, US East 1, US East 2, US East 3. So different regions. We can see in the practical time, don't worry. So this is region number 2. Okay. So India, we have a 2 regions, and here we have to focus each region having 3 availability zones. So why we need to discuss these many? The reason in AWS, as we discussed, we have a different services, right? Few services works under region level, few services works under agent level, and few are from global level. In this case, we need to understand what is global, what is region, what is availability zone. So no need to focus here the code of the Mumbai, the code of the availability zone and all. But here you need to understand what is region, what is availability zone. That is very important. So anyway, so each region having 3 availability zone, right? In this case, Mumbai, total 3 availability zones. So AP South 1A is the availability zone 1A, and AP South 1B, AP South 1C. Okay, like this. These are list of availability zones for the Mumbai. Same like that Hyderabad also. So we have a three availability zones in Hyderabad also. AP South 2A. So AP South 2B and AP South 2C. So we have to focus total 6 availability zones in India. Okay, so in India having 2 regions and 6 availability zones. So the regions, so these are regions. So these are availability. So this is the just understanding of hierarchy in a region level and availability zone level. So first we have to understand here what is region. Okay, we are discussing here. We have a 2 region. Excuse me. We have a 6 availability zone. So what is the difference here? So in AWS provides total. Yeah. So 33 plus regions. Entire globe. Globally. So in the 33 plus regions, we have a US, we have a India, we have a Canada, like that. And 108 plus availability zones. So AWS provides total 33 plus regions globally and 108 plus availability zones. So here out of 108 plus availability zones, we have a 6 from India. And out of 33 plus regions globally, we have a 2 from India. Okay, like that it is sharing. Okay. So till here, so we are just focusing here the list of availability zones and list of regions and all. So now we can focus here. What is region? Okay, what is region? So here, if you can see, this is region, right? So region contains availability zones. So AP, South, 1A, and 1B. So here, 1C. Same like that here. AP South, this is Hyderabad region, so 2A. And here 2B and 2C. Okay. Yeah. So in this case, what is region? So simply I can say here, region is nothing but group of availability zones. Group of availability zones. So region, if you can say region means we are addressing multiple availability zones indirectly. Okay. So region is nothing but group of availability zones. Okay. Okay. So what is availability zone here? So here, aged means availability, nothing but a data center only, nothing but a data center. Okay, aged is nothing but a data center contains group of servers, which contains group of servers. So in this case, if you create a instance, okay, if you create an instance, the instance will be landed in availability zone. Why? Availability zone is nothing but data center which contains group of servers. Okay, which contains group of servers. So in this case, so my servers, so I will just locate here inside agent. So server 1, for example, server 2, server 3. Server is nothing but here EC2, EC2. EC2, like that. So finally, your servers. So finally, you need to understand one thing. Your servers will be landed whenever you create a server. The server will be landed inside availability zone. Inside availability zone. So servers are not region specific in this case. In this case, servers are availability zone specific. Servers are availability zone specific. Not in region specific, not global specific. Okay. So in this case, definitely, guys, in this case, definitely, whenever you launch an instance, you have to confirm that where you are going to launch the instance, which availability zone you are going to launch the instance. In this case, if you go here, okay, let me log in. So we can discuss what is IAM user in coming classes. Until then, that just focus. We are focused on EC2 instance. So don't forget to terminate the resources after complete your practice. So we have to work this at least 2-3 months with this account only. Okay, so if you go for launch instance, so definitely if you can go for directly network settings. So the network settings, we have to select the availability zone. This is no preference means system can take a default one, but we have to specify. So subnet, I will discuss what is subnet, what is VPC. So here we can understand simply availability zone is nothing but subnet, region is nothing but VPC. I will tell you why. Okay. So if you go for data center, so yeah, if you go for data centers, if you can see, these are the data centers. In this case, what we can understand, these are availability zones. Like this, we have a 3 availability zones in India. If I'm talking about US, we have a 6 agents. So agent 1, this is entire one availability zone. Group of data centers is a region. One data center is nothing but agent. So if I talk about the region, if I talk about region, so if you can see here, this is one data center, this is one data center, this is one data center. Data center contains the hierarchy of the servers and all. So our servers will be located inside the availability zone, means inside the data center only. But we need to understand one thing. There is no any hierarchy to create a server directly into the region. Okay, there is no any hierarchy to create any server inside the region directly. So region is nothing but data centers, group of data centers. There is no group of servers here. So there is no protocol to create a server directly inside the region. No. The configurations and network and all, we have to create a server inside availability zone only. So since it is a data center. So data center is nothing but group of servers. So region is nothing but we can address, okay, these group of data centers comes under one region. These group of data centers comes under one region. So like that AWS is divided 33 plus regions, and inside region availability zones are 108 availability zones. So the region and agents, they have allocated, I mean, like a continent wise. So AP South Asia Pacific comes under India is a part of Asia Pacific. That's what I'm taking as a reference here. So same hierarchy for if you take a US, if you take a Canada, if you take a Australia. But we need to understand everywhere region is same, everywhere agents are same, but numbers will be different. When I say numbers will be different, maybe if you can take a US, the number will be different. Like instead of agents 3, the agents are 6. Inside and instead of regions 2, the regions are 3. Like that, numbers may different, but concept is same. Region is nothing but only region, whatever region it is, India region, US region, Australia region. Availability is nothing but, availability zone is nothing but it's a data center. Whatever any region data center, how it will work, same India data centers will work same. So here we need to understand what is region, what is agent. This is very important. And so till here clear or any questions so that we can move to VPC and subnet. Guys, any questions on this? Till here?
No questions.
I'm good, Veera.
Clear.
Good, Veera.
Okay, you guys are good, right? Okay, let's go for now main hierarchy here. Okay, so I'm taking now. So if you can see the architecture hierarchy, so this is enter global network. Inside global, we had already discussed the inside continents. Now, the next slide, I have taken only this continent and I have explained everything here. This is one continent, Asia Pacific continent. Inside Asia Pacific comes under global. Inside we have a continent. This continent is Asia Pacific continent. And inside Asia Pacific continent, we have India. India, we have 2 regions. Inside regions, we have available regions. So this is the hierarchy. Now I'm taking directly one region. I'm not taking 2 regions. I'm taking just one region. Okay. The third paint is here, only one region. The first paint is global and second paint is continent and third is only region. So we will discuss in detail what is region and all now. Okay. So as we aware of that, AWS is not only AWS, Azure, GCP, AWS. These are public platforms, public cloud platforms, Azure, GCP. Okay. So these are public clouds. Okay. In this case, let's an example. Okay. As we aware of that, these are public clouds means anyone can connect. In this case, so as we know, servers, if you create a server, for example, he is the developer, one developer or you, whatever, developer or whatever, create a one server. So in this case, I will take here. So I'm taking as a reference TCS company here, and here Wipro company. So I'm taking TCS and Wipro here. So for example, if TCS creates a server, just I'm taking an example of one server. I mean, one service in AWS, any service I'm taking as a server as example. Server is nothing but here EC2 instance. So this is region. This is region. So you can take any region, US East 1 or Mumbai region, whatever, US East 1, AP South 1 or US East 1. US East 1 is nothing but US region. Okay, if I take a US East 1, definitely region is nothing but group of agents. In this case, inside the region, we have a different agents. Okay, different agents. So in this case, if TCS will create a server, so inside agent only server will land, right? Server will be landed inside agent only. And Wipro will create one more server. Wipro will create a one service or server. Wipro also will create definitely inside the agent only. So Wipro will not create any agents separately. TCS will not create agent separately. We have to use that existing agent. So there is no right to create a own data center inside the AWS cloud. Same like TCS. In this case, if you can see, as we aware of that AWS is the public cloud. So TCS server is here, Wipro server is here. So I think we don't have, there is no, security barrier to deny the request for one server to other server. In this case, definitely each servers will communicate here. The reason this is public cloud. Yes, we have some authentication factors, even though this security barrier is not at all strong. The reason both are in same public cloud. So if TCS will create a server in US East 1A, 1A is nothing but here we need to understand this is availability zone. 1 is nothing but region, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, these are availability zones. Okay. So if two availability zones, so US East 1 is common for TCS, US East 1 is common for Wipro. So region is same for everyone. Let's an example. If TCS create a server, the server will be landed in US East 1A, same Wipro server will be landed in US East 1A. So as we aware of this, so here the region will allow, here region will allow. The reason this region barrier is a public cloud. So everyone can connect here. There is no any, deny the request here. So allow the by default action. In this case, so TCS and Wipro is not happy to create a service in the AWS cloud, definitely. So that's what AWS is doing here. What AWS is doing that. So they will give one provision. Okay. The provision is nothing but private cloud inside the public cloud. Okay. What is private cloud here? So they will provide one virtual private layer on top of the public cloud. So in this case, what we can understand here, if TCS want to create a AWS resources, first they need to create their own private layer on top of the public cloud. Same thing, if Wipro want to create any resources in AWS, Wipro has to create the private layer on top of the public cloud. So here the private layer, when I say private layer, guys, you need to understand this is a virtual private layer. So this private layer like this, it will be created for TCS, and one more private layer will be created for Wipro. I mean, we need to understand it's not like that. Just for understanding what I'm saying here, it is not like inside TCS layer Wipro will be there. It is not like, it's a virtual layers. Okay, these virtual layers is nothing but VPC. Okay, this virtual layer is nothing but VPC. Here VPC is nothing but virtual private cloud. So if it is a Azure virtual private network, VNet, virtual network. Process is same in Azure and AWS. Okay. What AWS saying here? Okay, if you want to create any resources, first you have to create your own network, own private network. So in that case, no one can access that network. Whenever TCS is creates own network on top of this region, means this network, this layer will only access TCS. Same if Wipro also want to create any resources, Wipro also will create virtual private cloud network on top of that region. Like that, the AWS is giving the concept of VPC. In this case, if you want to create any resources, first we have to create a VPC. Here we need to understand VPC is nothing but region level. VPC works under region level. Okay. So let me take VPC is a region level. So in this case, VPC is region level means the very first service. If you want to create any resources here, we have to create first VPC. Inside VPC only we have a availability zones. Okay. So in this case, definitely first we have to create a VPC if you want to create a server. See, server is inside the availability zone. Availability zone inside the VPC. No. So VPC is nothing but first we have to create very high level hierarchy is VPC. After that only request will go to inside VPC. So now we can discuss this is VPC. Okay, this is cool now. So TCS, now I just remove here Wipro part. May you confuse here? Okay. Now TCS already created VPC. In this case, so inside VPC we have a availability zones. So 1A, 1B, 1C. Now we need to understand, definitely guys, if I take any project, we have a different requirements, right? Public requirement, private requirement. When I say public requirement, private requirement, for example, if I take a same company, if I take a TCS company, TCS inside portal, there is a portal, right, to download the payslips, to download the PF and all. That is internal tool. Internal tool means only TCS employees can access, not for everyone. This is not a public. And the same thing, TCS also develops some public platforms. Everyone can access. In this case, if I take a one project, for example, if I take a one project A. So TCS is developing project A. In this project A, definitely two requirements will come: public requirement, private requirement. So if they develop in the project A, different applications, one application may access everyone. One application only can access two people. One application no one can access, completely private. In this case, so if you create a VPC, so if you directly create a service inside the availability zones, so we have to here define public and private and whatever. So public applications we can deploy into public servers, private applications we can deploy into private servers, like that. So how you can divide how you can divide public server and a private server. Simple logic here. Public server is nothing but everyone can access. For example, if I take a Flipkart, everyone can access. Everyone can access, read only, not write. But who can write the application? Developers only, who are having the right access. Okay, whoever having the right access, they can write the code. So we are just public. You are accessing the application. This application already running in the Flipkart server. This Flipkart server already created by DevOps engineers only. And after creating a Flipkart server, DevOps engineers only, before that, developers already written the application. Once they push this code into GitHub, GitHub is nothing but remote repository. DevOps team take that application and deploy into server. Before that, DevOps engineer has to create the server. AWS server or Azure server, GCP server, as per the requirement. Once server is ready, simply we can deploy application to the server. So that server is public server or private server. We have a different combinations, right? So I cannot say always servers are public and same thing, always servers are not private. So different combinations. So what AWS is saying that in this case, we have a concept is subnet concept. We have a subnet concept. So this subnet is nothing but what? Network inside the network. So our network is what? VPC network. Inside again one more network. VPC is the main network. Inside subnet means network inside subnetwork. So I can make it as a, this is public subnet. So this is private subnet. And this is public subnet. So inside VPC is a region specific. Inside VPC, we have a different subnets. So here we need to understand one thing. VPC is a region specific, right? So here subnet is availability zone specific, guys. AZ specific. So this is single line diagram. May confuse. May you confuse. Whenever I create a VPC, whenever I create a subnets, how many I can create? So here, inside the region, you can create a 5 VPCs as a default action. And inside VPC, you can create n number of subnets. I can say n number of means multi. We have a limitations also. The number, so depends on, there is a CIDR session. We will explain the CIDR session. In the CIDR block, based on the range only, based on the VPC range only, we can decide how many subnets we can create inside the VPC. The range maybe depends on, the range depends on the range of CIDR. I will discuss what is CIDR and all later. So in this case, guys, subnet is availability zone specific, VPC is region level specific. So inside VPC, we have a AJets, and again inside AJets, we can create multiple subnets. Okay. Okay. So we can create multiple subnets. So inside VPC, we have a AJets. Okay. And inside region, so we can create 5 VPCs per region. One region I can create a 5 VPCs per region. And inside edges, we can create a multiple subnets. The default action is depends on the VPC range only. So guys, here we need to understand one thing. So when I say subnet is AZ specific, how VPC is a region specific, inside region we can create multiple VPCs, right? VPCs, right? Same level, inside AZ, we can create multiple subnets. So for example, US East 1A inside I can create public subnet. I can create a private subnet. Same US East 1B I can create public subnet. I can create a private subnet. So what I'm trying to say here, if I take a availability zone for low level, okay, this is availability zone. Inside the region only availability zone. So this availability zone may host public subnet, private subnet. So if I can say here, this is public subnet and this is private subnet again. So now what we can do here, public server can land into the inside availability zone, public subnet, and a private server. So if you don't want to access this private server to anyone, we can create inside private subnet. So this is a hierarchy. So here, public server inside public subnet. Subnet is availability zone specific. Once again, I'm saying that here. And this is private subnet. So this is private server. Private server is nothing but private EC2 instance. Okay, but this AZ is a part of VPC. That you need to understand. Okay, let me connect the charge. Okay, so here, so hierarchy you need to understand. So this is VPC, right? Okay. Okay, just keep as is. May you confuse? If I show you different layers, I will show you one more layer here. Okay, let me show you here. Okay, so now this is VPC. So VPC is inside the region, right? So if you can take this is a big region box. So inside region, we have a one VPC. Like that, you can create multiple VPCs. Region. So inside region, I can create multiple VPCs. This is only one VPC I'm explaining here. And inside VPC, we have a availability zone. So like that, one availability zone only I'm taking here. We can take a multiple availability zones. US East 1A. Since why I'm writing US East 1 is this region I'm taking as a US East 1 region. If you take India, AP South 1A, like that number will change, code will change. So this VPC is US East 1. Inside US East 1, we have a availability zone. This is availability zone. Okay, inside availability zone, we have a different subnets. AJets are subnets are AJ specific, VPCs are region specific. So here, public server, private server. Now, if you want to deploy your public applications, that app you can deploy directly here. Public app. So this is private app. But both are running in same VPC, even though we are dividing here. By using subnet, subnet is nothing but network inside network. You are in the VPC network, again you are dividing into the sub network. Like we can just, here we can divide into the public network, private network. So this is availability zone 1A. Like that, in 1A, you can create multiple subnets, maybe the public, maybe the private. Same thing in 1B, we can create maybe the public, maybe the private, same like 1C, 1D, 1A, like that we can create. Okay. So let me take here US East 1B. And US East 1C. So now just I'm showing you here the two servers here. So here there is no subnet concept. Directly servers are there here, but definitely servers we cannot create directly inside availability zone. Servers we should create first subnet only. Inside subnet only we can create a servers. For example, if I take this is simple subnet, either public or private, like this. So these are the EC2. AZ, availability zone 1A. This is VPC. So region specific. So clear now? So if you want to create a server, definitely first you have to create a VPC. Definitely we have to create a subnet. So if you can see here, same process. If you can go for to create a EC2 instance, so they're asking us which network, which VPC, and which subnet. In this case, what we need to do before we have to create a VPC and subnet. So which subnet this instance is we are going to create, this server you are going to create which subnet. So we have to select the subnet here. So select the subnet. If you can go for edit, you can give list of VPCs. I can see where you are going to deploy this application. So for example, this account is for example, guys, TCS is hand over project to be on Wipro. So TCS, sorry, Apple is hand over project to Wipro. Now Apple is created account hand over to Wipro. Now Wipro is creating a VPCs inside, Wipro is creating inside the subnets. Okay. And one more company is coming. One more company is coming and hand over the project means definitely they will give one more account. They will not ask to do the project in an Apple account, right? Definitely VPC is for only specific for this account only. Now different companies hand over the give the project to the Wipro means Wipro has to work on their account only. Their account we have to create a VPCs. This is Apple VPC. That is different company VPCs. Like that hierarchy will work. Okay, account to account it will change. So till here clear or any confusions? So that if you ask any questions, so that I will explain. Okay, if you are having any doubts. Any questions?
Does every region has only 3 availability zones or will it fluctuate?
No, it is not fixed. It will change. Just every region, for example, if I go for here, I'm in Sydney, right? Sydney. So Sydney, if you can go here in the Sydney. Okay, let's go to VPC. If you click subnet, so if you can see here, yeah, we have a 2A, 2B, 2C. I mean, Sydney also we have a 3 availability zones only. If you go for US, for example, yeah, US, yeah, California. So I'm inside of California region. So inside of California region, if you click here, I'm inside of the California region. So California region, if you go for subnets, we have only 2 availability zones, US West 1A, US West 1B. If you go for North Virginia, we have a 6 availability zones here. Total, we have a 108 availability zones. So if you can see here, we have a 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F. Total 6 availability zones. Like that, it will change. But if you can see the difference, if I go for any region, inside the region, if you observe or not, we have a VPC. So if I go for Tokyo region, any region, these are the list of regions. Okay. If I go for Tokyo region, so if you can see one VPC already created, one subnet or 3 subnets already created. What we can understand here, by default, AWS provides default network. For example, default network is nothing but if you want to start the practice to deploy any application, if you are a developer, you need a server, right, to deploy application, right? In this case, if you want to create a server, definitely you have to create a VPC and subnet also. If you don't know how to create a VPC subnet as you are a developer, so no need to worry about to test your application. Every region by default VPC subnets are there. Okay, these are public subnets, public VPC. It is not like a private subnets. Okay. Just wait. Okay. Yeah. So if I take here, okay, any region by default, AWS provides public networks, public VPC, public subnets. If you can see how many subnets they are providing here, if you can see here, by default subnets, they are providing each availability zone one subnet. So 1A availability zone, 1A availability zone, one subnet, 1B availability zone, one subnet, like that. If the availability zone level, they will give the 111 subnet. They are giving 111 subnet for the practice purpose only. But real time, we are not supposed to use this existing network. This is public, completely public network. This is attached internet gateway to VPC subnet and all. Anyone can access. If you deploy any application, if you can give IP of the server, anyone can access since it is public network. But in our practice, we have to create our own VPC. First create a VPC and then create a subnet and then create a server. This is the process in actual. But by default, they are providing the default network. But we are not supposed to use the default network. Default network is to just for do the practice and the public network only. But we have to create our own network from the scratch. Clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, clear, Veera.
Any questions? Please do not hesitate. You can ask any question, no problem. So we have to focus cloud also, very important, as a DevOps engineers. So in interviews, they're asking cloud interview questions so that we have to learn cloud, definitely. Any questions from anyone?
Okay.
Okay. So I will show you how to create a VPC and subnet quickly. So in 5 minutes, I will 5 to 10 minutes, I will finish the class. So yes, if you want to create a VPC, VPC is a region specific. Region specific is nothing but you have to select the region first. So I'm in the Tokyo region. If you create a VPC, VPC will be created in the Tokyo region. But if I want to create a VPC in Mumbai region, select here, go to Mumbai region. And if you want to create Tokyo again, come to Tokyo. Like this. We can change our region. Okay. So again, I'm going to jump here. Hyderabad region or Mumbai region. Yeah. So the first step is why we are creating VPC, why we are creating subnet, because we have to deploy application. To deploy application, we need a server. So to create a server, definitely we have to create a network first. Network inside only server will be landed, right? So we are creating a network now. The network is, I'm creating a first hierarchy is VPC. So I'm giving VPC name is here, my VPC. And next, CIDR. Just park aside. We will discuss what is CIDR and all. So by default, you can give 10.0.0.0 by 16. I will tell you why and all in tomorrow class. So whenever you can give the 16 here, okay, if you create a VPC, so this VPC, the size of the VPC means VPC is nothing but just we have to understand VPC is a house. Inside house, the bedrooms and a hall, whatever, these are subnets. Inside subnets, we have a servers. You can understand servers are furniture like that. So this size of the house depends on your area. Here size of the VPC depends on this range. 16 is nothing but we have to subtract this value from 32 and give the 2 power resultant value. For example, if I give a 16 here, we have to subtract from 32. 32 minus 16 is 16 and we have to give the 2 power of the range. So 32 minus 16 is 16. 2 power 16 is 65,000 and something. I mean, the range of the VPs is 65,000. What is 65,000 here? IPs. So whenever you can create a VPC, this VPC will generate 65,000 IPs. 65,000 IPs means whenever you create a server, one IP will be registered for the server. Whenever you can create a subnet, some range will be registered for the subnet. Like that, each device require one IP. The IPs, the range will be generated from the VPC. For example, if I give 32, if I give 31, if I give 31, so 32 minus, we have to subtract from 32, right? I will explain tomorrow class in detail what is CIDR and all anyway. So 32 minus 31 is 1. The resultant value 2 power 1 is 2. Okay. So we can generate 2 IPs only. In that case, we cannot create anything inside the VPC. Even subnet also will take some range of IPs. In this case, this network is very small network able to generate only 2 IPs means we cannot create any instances also inside. So that if you give the minimum value, 32 minus 16, resultant value will be big. The resultant value will be big means we have to calculate 2 power, then 65,000. This is the maximum range. Anyway, we'll discuss tomorrow on the CIDR class. So I'm creating a VPC. So here I have given only name and CIDR. Now my VPC is ready. Let's go here. So my VPC is ready like this. So inside VPC, I have to create subnets, right? VPC is a region specific. Yes, I'm in Hyderabad region VPC I have created and go for subnets. These are default subnets. AWS is created for practice purpose. We are not supposed to use any public subnets and all, even though we can do later, but we have to understand how to create a subnet and VPC. So guys, if you can see while creating subnet time, it is asking select the VPC. Why? Subnets are inside the VPC. See, subnets are inside the VPC. Subnets are AZ specific, right? So AZs are inside the region. VPC is a region specific, right? VPC inside subnets will come. For example, here one more VPC will be there, one more VPC will be there. Like that, 5 VPCs will be there. Exactly where you are going to create a subnet. In that subnet only instance is going to land, right? So I'm selecting this is default VPC AWS is created. No, I'm not going to create subnet here. Subnets already there in the default network. Those are the public subnets. So I'm creating my subnet. So I'm selecting whatever VPC I have created just now. In that VPC only, I'm going to create a subnet. Okay. So here if you can see subnets are AZ specific. That's what it is asking, which availability zone. If you want to create a VPC, it is asking which region. VPC is a region specific. Subnet is a availability zone specific. Okay. So you can select 2A, 2B, 2C or anything. The reason inside Hyderabad, we have a 3 availability zone. you can select any one of the availability zone. If you haven't select, no preference means AWS will select default any one of the availability zone. If you select, here only the subnet will be created. And the last step is here, we have to register some range from the subnet. Subnet inside instances will be created, right? So if you allocate some range, VPC allocate some range for the subnet, subnet also able to generate some IPs inside the server only. So in tomorrow class we'll discuss this range should be in the range of VPC only, not out the range of VPC. Okay, I mean you can give like this. 17 means in the range of 16 only. The reason 32 minus 16 is the 65,000. 32 minus 17 is below 65,000. The range should be in the range only subnet, not more the range. Okay. In this case, you can give, for example, 24. 24 means 256 IPs you are allocating for this subnet. VPC is going to allocate 256 IPs for the subnet. VPC is able to generate 65,000 IPs. Okay, out of 65,000 IPs, VPC is able to generate 256 IPs for only this subnet. Like that, you can create a multiple subnet. Anyway, I'm just giving here. Create a subnet. So my VPC is ready. My subnet is ready now. So if you want to create a instance, let's go to instance now. So launch instance. So my EC2, now I'm going to create a my EC2 server, and instance type, just you can here in this range T3 micro is a pre-enter eligible. Oh, very good. So they are giving T3 micro is a 2 CPUs. Okay, super. Okay, anyway, so key pair name is so no key pairs right here. I haven't created any key pair before. This is just newly launched server. Create a key pair. My custom key pair, you can give any name. So whenever you can create a custom key pair, you can select any one of the encryption RSR ID, or you have to select .pem or .pk any extension. We will discuss in EC2 connect option time. If I give .pem or .ppk, the file downloaded into your local with the extension of .pem or .ppk. So whenever I create a one key pair will be downloaded. This is private key. At the same time, this key will be public key will be downloaded inside the server after creating. Okay. So here the network settings. Go to edit. So this time I'm not going with the default VPC. I have already created my VPC. I'm selecting here. So my subnet already. Since we have only one subnet, automatically selected here. Auto ASN public IP you should enable just for practice. If you enable means we can test our application. If auto ASN public IP enable means public IP will be generated locally by accessing public IP. We can test my application. If it is disabled means we cannot access directly the server to test our application. We can configure our load balancer and all. We can see. I'm enabling this one. So only the pending is security groups concept. We'll discuss tomorrow. Meanwhile, I'm selecting the default security groups. So we'll discuss tomorrow what is security group and all. So keep as is. A hard disk is 8 GB size. I'm launching the instance now. Now my instance is going to create which network? My created VPC network, my created subnet only. So my instance is running now. If you click on the instance, so what you can do, just go through all the steps, where exactly networking is there, where exactly storage is there, where exactly monitoring is there. Just try to habituate this dashboard. So if you can go here, networking concepts. So my networking concepts, my EC2 is running in which VPC? My VPC, and inside VPC, this subnet only inside EC2 is running. Like this, we can understand. So the only pending is security groups. Okay, we will discuss security groups tomorrow. And after complete the instance, so I haven't connected instance set. Once you connect the instance, we can deploy the application and all. We can see the tomorrow coming classes. Once launching is done, go to instance state, terminate the instance state. So I'm going to delete entirely. So after some time, we can see this is shut down, but still we can see my EC2 instance is there. It will take some time to update APIs. After 15 minutes, it will be gone from here also. But we have to understand whenever instance state is shut down, you can understand instance already terminated. Even the instance that we can see here, the name. Still shutting down. So terminated. Now instance is terminated, but still we can see means it will take some time to update APIs here. So, but in your end, it is not there. So bill also not applicable for this instance. Still it is a terminator. So like that we can understand. If you can go for storage, storage is nothing but hard disk. Networking is nothing but VPC subnet. Security is nothing but security group concept had to discuss. Status and alarm, I think I already discussed it. 2x2 check means, okay, we discuss tomorrow. Anyway, that's small concept only. If you go for details, we can see entire details of the server, the instance type, the key pair, and all we can see here, everything. Okay, key pair and all. Okay, that's all for creation of VPC and subnet. If you want to terminate your created VPC, so go to VPCs, this block, or type in the search VPC, go to your VPCs, and here my VPC, actions, delete VPC. So if you observe here, whenever delete VPC, inside subnet also will be deleted. You are deleting region specific, so inside available region subnet also will be deleted. So I have cleared the resources. Any questions? This is a process, creation of own network. So we have to focus what is VPC, what is subnet and all you have to create. And if you are facing any issue, take a screenshot and just let me know so that I will connect or I will help you. Clear, guys? So far?
Yeah, we have one question.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's clear.
Asha?
If we are deleting this, we are terminating the VPC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, once, if we use that VPC to store any data or anything, if we terminate that, all the data will be lost?
Yes, all data will be lost. But
Okay,
here,
we cannot recover it.
yes, exactly. We cannot recover.
Okay.
We
Okay.
are deleting entire network, right? So even though if you try to delete the VPC, it will not be deleted. The reason we haven't configured anything, just we have created subnet and VPC only. We haven't configured any public and private network inside. So to the enable public network concept, we have to configure different routing tables and all. When you configure that, if you try to delete VPC, system can give the pop-up. First delete inside the VPC, whatever configurations are there, then only we can delete a VPC. Like that, you will get a pop-up. In that case, we can protect like that only.
Got it, Veera. Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions from anyone?
No questions.
Okay. So the timings and all is clear, right? The 1 hour 30 minutes, 7:30 to 9 IST in your opinion. Is it okay, right? Timings and all okay, right? Is there any
Yes,
challenges?
yes.
No problem, guys. If you're facing any challenges, we can extend, like, we can start a 9 IST, whatever. Depends on your, maybe in your end is, I think early morning, like, for your end. Is it okay?
Yeah, okay, Veera. No worries.
Yeah, okay. But if you are facing any challenges, guys, please do let me know. We have it.
Yeah, sure.
WhatsApp group. If required, we will create Telegram group to share the bulk content. Completely your wish. If you're okay to create, means I will create Telegram group. I will add you everyone in that. You can ask questions also there. Whatever, completely your wish. Okay, guys. I think I'm going to wind up the session.
Veera, can
So
you share the
please-
screenshots of today's class?
Yeah, definitely I will share after completing immediately.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's all, guys. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.